Is it done then? And do you have the witness? I know what it is to use that relic to call the flood. Even though it is necessary, even though it is merciful, it will stay with you. Always. One day it will be a new Tidebringer's turn to call the flood, when I am down there. And then another for you. Only then will we be free of it. Free of the memory. Come, meet me upstairs outside the reliquary. There is one more thing to be done to complete the rising.
As you wish.
The Vale of Tears is only to be crossed by the High Abbot. Andra's witness is the key. Through the Vale is the reliquary. When we are done here, pass into the reliquary, and your responsibilities will be revealed to you. The final step of the rising requires that you use Andra's witness to seal me below with my brothers and sisters. Forgive me. The rising. The final step. A slight correction. You will not be sealing us in the halls of silence. The only way I will allow you to become the High Abbot is if you can kill me, and those who stand with me, here and now. Good. Then there is no argument. Have you ever swum in the open ocean, Tidebringer? Then perhaps you will relate. When you swim in the ocean, you are at the mercy of the current and the waves. It requires a great deal of trust. When I was a young man in Rawatai, I would paddle out in a small kayak and go spearfishing in the Gulf. One day, when I was swimming, I was caught in a rip current and pulled miles from my boat. I stayed afloat long as I could, but there was no getting to safety. It was night, and the water was black. I took a final breath and sunk below the surface. Then there came a glow beneath me. It was a moon ray the size of a caravel, if you can imagine such a creature. I saw it swimming up toward me, and even as things began to grow dark around me, I knew I was safe. I awoke on shore. That day, I pledged myself to Andra, because I knew she had seen me safely through, and that she always would. The glow of that moon ray has always been a beacon in my life. If I am sealed beneath, I will be forced to part with it, and 1,000 other memories that make me what I am. I will die, afraid and alone. I thought I would be ready. My trust in Andra was absolute. But I am weaker than I imagined. I will defeat you and stay on as High Abbot, or I will die here, knowing who I am. Either would be better. I don't know how this is possible, but I will make sure you do not succeed.
Join arms! Attack! Even Big just fell.
Well? Yes.
The Vale of Tears is only through the final. The only way I will allow you to become the High Abbot is if you can good. Have you ever swum in the open ocean? Perhaps when I was one day, I stayed in there. I saw it swimming. I awoke the glow. I will die. I will defeat you and stay. I have seen what lies in store. I do not wish that fate for any of you. Let us serve Andra in other ways.
Come back and stop.
Lava will be on seek!
Following your lead. Following.
You can trust me. What? What?
I shall.
Attend to the priest!
Damn it! Gotta take better care of Ella.
Roak 10! Crave Dalfilat.
As you wish.
I used to have this big hound, like to dig for bones. Well, he'd be real excited right about now.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged! No mortal is fit to decide whether he is worthy of survival. Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened. The forge ignited. You conspired with souls that evaded my judgment. Saw them infused into the very thing they had stolen from me. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried. It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin. When the Pargrunen came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself. They would have destroyed themselves in the end. I mourned the loss of the Pargrunen. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon. Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher. Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten? Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love, or it can create obsession, madness. You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the young woman who committed herself to Brackenbury for love of things she remembered she had. Or the fisherman whose life became a sentence the day he killed his sister. Or the Glonfathen boy for whom an old medallion was worth more than all the fruits of his labors. They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget. Many such people gain these burdens through no fault of their own. Others act to redeem themselves only to find their memories will not forgive them. The fires of Cold Morn died long ago, yet vengeance still burns in this construct's mind. What is vengeance but a fire fueled by memory that consumes the soul?
A fun way to kill time?
Cold Morn is not but a memory now. If it no longer intruded on her thoughts, no longer haunted her dreams, she could live a life of her choosing. So often do we confuse memory with identity. But memory is who we believe we were, not who we actually are. She would have a different identity now, a more peaceful existence, if she could forget what led her down this path.
But I would lose my favorite conversation starter.
Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss. Bad enough that the past is set. Better that we should not have to dwell upon it. Was there something else, mortal? Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me. Abydon did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy. The least I could do for ending his life. I called the moon down to me, Ione brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason, would not listen to me. In his madness, he splintered the moon, but it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect. In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself. Ione brother is their smaller sibling, tiny next to them. That time has been forgotten now, and so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact. No! He cannot know! He must never know! Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. But so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body. Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work. We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late. The other gods knew what had to be done, but they lacked the will to go through with it. Even gods have their attachments. To erase all knowledge of such a grand thing required unthinkable devastation. The Eastern Reach, Deadfire. Mine was the only solution. When I called down Ione brother, they remained silent. Even Abydon. He knew it was for the best. But he tried to stop it all the same. Perhaps deep down I knew he would. I should have expected it. I could have stopped it. You may ask. The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails.
I guess dropping a rock on their heads is one way to fix that.
Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe. There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us. When memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away. The other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them. I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end. I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity. What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine. They were his once, I won't deny it. He created them as assistants to carry out his work on Eora. But he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way. I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back. I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together. Speak your mind. Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered. Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless. They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away. You may ask. On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant. Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Eora, and then the Eyeless shall rest once more. Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done. The Eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled. They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry. The interventions of gods seldom work out in anyone's favor. Our touch is too heavy. The world crumbles beneath it. It is why we so often enlist the help of mortals. They execute our wishes with greater care. I have done far too much already. Only if those they pursue are no longer a threat. The Raid Sarens were stopped before they could take the White Forge. In your case, Watcher, you are well beyond that now. And if what you say is true, then the Dyrwood is as well. Your determination is commendable, but the Eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
Or just for fun, maybe.
Let us hope it does not come to that. I will give you what aid I can. I bade the Eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Ione Brother. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairon's Scar. Know, too, that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid. If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abaddon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. But destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abaddon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do. Nothing I say will make sense until you see it for yourself, mortal. We share a common purpose now. I will see you through it when the time comes. If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen. Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the Eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept. Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near. And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any Eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.